everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Soup Bowl, where things get messy when we dive in. When things get a little uncomfortable, they might not even taste good. It might not even, but look, when we're leading our own life, things are bound to happen. And when we do, hey, we just get out here, we share information so we can do better because we know better. I am your host, Renee Murdoch. I thank you for going on this life journey with me. I'm so happy to be going on this journey with you because if we do not share, we will not learn. We will not learn. So it's good to be in a place of learning. It's good to always be open, always be curious about the things that we hear, the things that we see, the people that we encounter. I'm not saying read people's resume, so to speak, but I am saying get curious. Find out some things. Learn about someone else. Come outside of your norm, outside your culture. You're constantly going to hear that from me because, again, you do not grow unless you are in a position of learning. And how can you be in a position of learning? It's being curious, asking questions, not talking, but listening, right? So here we are again with another episode. So there's a lot of things that we could be talking about, but this is now the time to be talking about a particular book that I picked up in the bookstore, right? Not your average bookstore, but the lovely place called Thrift Store. And it wasn't even a book thrift store, right? It was a thrift store that was really nice and quaint, and you're looking around or whatever, and then they had like this bookshelf and they had books on it, right? And it wasn't like overwhelmingly a lot of books, but it was like, but at the very bottom. Can you say at the bottom, right? Like, I think the treasure is always at the bottom. The treasure is going to go dig for things, right, than just being rather at eye level or just being at the top. But I think the treasures are at the bottom, right? And so, I mean, you think about it, people, right? They used to bury treasures. People still do. What they seem to think is very valuable. But on the bottom shelf at this thrift store, there was nothing but historical or vintage type older books, right? To the point where they were all hardback, right? I don't even think, paperback was even in there, right? But they were all hardback and there was no sleeve. I love that. I love hardback books and there's no sleeve. Like, why do I need the sleeve, right? Why do I need the sleeve? Do I want to, because I want to add extra stuff on, like extra wording or whatnot? No, I can get all of that inside the book, inside of it, right? So they were all at the bottom. So I'm just kind of going through them because, again, I like the vintage type antique feel. And so I'm just going through the books and I'm just kind of like, okay, what this one's about, I'm opening up, reading them. And so then I stumble upon this book, right? This book right here. Maybe you've heard of it before. Maybe you haven't. But it is called Life and Literature. And it is by Richardson. What is Richardson's first name? Like, this book, like, you got to be delicate, right? J. Purdy Richardson, right? And this book is, he put this book together, but not all of it comes from him, which I love too at the same time. So this book is over 2,000 extracts from ancient and modern writers. Over 2,000. Over 2,000. So if I'm going to be reading over 2,000, you better believe I'm going to come out wiser. I'm going to come out with more knowledge. I'm going to come out with a new outlook on the things that are around me in my environment. And so he has, this was copyright back in 1910. 1910. We are in 2024. So I think a lot of this is still prevalent. And one interesting thing is that I think back in the early 1800s, right, 1700s, that it was always about this God, right? This God, this being, this miraculous person that created mankind, and a lot of things that Englishmen or whatnot, they would really set course in everything pertaining to God. So a lot of the sayings in there refer to God, and then also just in life, life itself. So and even if someone is bringing like forth a saying, like some of those sayings, it really kind of correlates with a particular Bible verse. So I thought that was very interesting too. And I'm just kind of finding this out. But when I was in the store, I didn't find out because I think I just fell on like a couple of things. And I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting because why I like quotes. I like inspirational quotes. I like motivational quotes. I like lesson learned quotes, right? Like get it together, type quotes. But anyway, so in reference to this, he dedicates his book to his children, right? And two of them. And he also dedicates it to his own people, right? His kin. He dedicated to those his friends that walk with him, and then he also dedicated to a person like me, the person that's going to pick up the book and they're going to read it, and they're going to try to gain some understanding of what's being said in this particular book. So hey, why not? Why not read it? It's in alphabetical order on different things that we encounter in life. So it's like abilities, acquaintances, beautiful, wisdom, dreams. It's just so many different topics that are in here that you're like children, things of that nature, life, work, reading, books, just different things. So one thing I'm going to read is quite a few in here because again, these are like little quotes or whatever, but I'm going to turn this around so you can kind of see it as well. Not white pages either. I love this. So this particular, oh man, it's like 400 of these, of this particular one. But anyway, so it says, from a safe port, 'tis easy to give counsel. I'm going to say that again. From a safe port, 'tis easy to give counsel. What does that mean? What is that saying? I think it's like, when someone's having a situation, you haven't encountered that situation yourself, you're quick to give advice. Or if it was me, if I had, right, but you're not in a situation. You're not in a situation, so you don't know, but you want to give advice when you have an encounter. So it's almost like, someone trying to tell you how to get to a certain location but never have been there themselves, and really they can only give you the knowledge of, I wouldn't even say take face value for it, but just give you the knowledge of what currently is out there, but can't really give you actual guidance and counseling from a place of, I've been there, I went through that, or possibly I'm going through that right now, and this is how I am dealing with it. So I would say be mindful of where you are getting counsel from. Be mindful of that. I think about a lot of times when I look at the letters of Paul in the Bible, and again, this is just me thinking, I'm just musing over stuff, and I'm thinking about this particular life, right, of words here, because when, Paul was writing about women's position and what women should do, It's coming from a place of him growing up, right, in the culture of being Jewish, right, and what that expectation was of women and what they could and could not do and how they should behave, but not from a place of, another thing, not from a place of really being married, right, because he wasn't married. So you're giving relationship advice or instructions or guidance, but you're basing it off of what? Off of what you have seen and have been taught traditionally by being raised and being around that, and what that expectation was of women during that time. And I think that if maybe Paul had married, maybe his perspective would have been a little bit different. Maybe it could have been worded a little bit different, right? Because we kind of get hung up sometimes in those particular verses about what a woman's role is, right? So I don't know, it's just something to think about. I'm not saying that he's wrong in it. I'm just saying that maybe there could have been more clarity in it, and then people would not be confused in reference to, well, I don't want to say confused. They would not be misled, right, into their own way of thinking about really why it was said the way it was said. When you think about, again, during those times and what it was tradition for women to do, right? And what he was accustomed to those women and seeing them in their home, right? To make a home and to raise children and to be more of a silent partner other than a partner that shared in the goals and the vision of that home. So those are just, I don't think, food for thought of something to think about. Okay. Let's go to another one. I didn't highlight. I like to highlight, but I don't want to highlight this book. I feel like if I highlight, I don't know, I'm just not there yet. So, if you're like, you should already know what you're talking about. I didn't highlight. I didn't even write because I was like, I'm not ready yet to writing this. But anyway, let's see another one. There was another one on the same page. It was, okay, maybe it wasn't there. Didn't look, where is it at? Maybe it was a different, oh, okay, it was on a different page, that's why. Okay, so this is one by Dr. Jeffrey. It says, covetousness. A young man once picked up a souvenir lying in the road. Ever afterward, in walking along, he kept his eyes fixed steadily upon the ground in hopes to find another. And in the course of a long life, he did pick up at different times a goodly number of coins, gold and silver. But all these years, while he was looking for them, he saw not that heavens were bright above him and nature beautiful around. He never once allowed his eyes to look up from the mud and the filth in which he sought his treasure. And when he died, a rich old man, he only knew this fair earth as a dirty road to pick up money as you walk along. Thus you see the desire of having is the sin of covetousness. Wow. 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 Right? What is that saying? What is that? That's kind of like hitting, right? In so many different areas. Here it is. You have this beautiful world that we live in. that's all around us. Like, even in the darkest moments, the world is still beautiful. But we have to pick up our heads to see it. We cannot bury our faces in the sand, in our circumstances, and believe that that's the world, because it's not. It's not the world. If I would have stayed where I stayed after I graduated, I would not have seen the beauty of this world. I would not have seen it. I would not have seen the many different flowers and different many plants and the different types of food, and it would not have been foreign to me because all I did was see it on TV, but I wasn't able actually to experience it for myself if I had buried my head in the sand looking for something else, something more. I don't know, but to go your whole life and really, I guess, achieve what you wanted to achieve, but you had this tunnel vision going forward that you missed so much more, and you left with more materialistically, right, than anything else. And I'm thinking, it doesn't say this, but I'm thinking, he probably was a sad man. He probably was a sad man, because if you think that the earth is filthy and muddy and dirty, but you never seem to catch a glimpse of the sunshine, you never get to catch a glimpse of heaven's pouring over you, of joy and happiness and peace. I think he was sad. I think he might have been depressed. And he never really got to really fulfill his life on earth. I am at a point in my life. Now again, I'm evolving. But I am at a point in my life where I keep asking myself when I do things, okay, are you living? Are you just existing? Or are you living? Because I really want to live now. I don't want to just go throughout life and I feel like I'm just, making the donuts, or I'm on a hamster wheel, or this is the way it's going to be and this is a lot and I have to carry it. No, I want to live. I want to experience. I don't think that there are things here, the earth, in so many different parts of the world was created the way it was for me not to experience it, for you not to experience it. Like, it's not just there just to be there, right? We have to experience these things. But if I'm like going after, or I'm so fixated on materialistic things of the world, then I will lose that. I will lose the beauty of what is around me. And so I know we got to think about that. What am I out here doing? Am I chasing after, because if I'm chasing after a particular lifestyle, why is that, right? Why am I chasing after that? And then what am I doing to get there too at the same time? So the possibilities of what I could be missing out on. The possibilities of what I could be missing out on. That's pretty sad. He never once allowed his eyes to look up from the mud and the filth in which he sought his treasure. We are people, we are creative beings, we are constantly being evolved if we allow ourselves to be evolved, because what I liked in my 20s, I don't like right now. I don't care for it. I see no purpose in it. There's certain things that I just was like, I don't think that's necessary anymore. And there's certain things that I carry with me, right, as I get older. But we evolve because we are beings that are moving and changing and growing, not just in our age, but in our intellect as we experience life. As we experience life. So what am I saying? Don't get so fixated on something that you cannot see other opportunities around you. You have to be able to see. You have to be able to see, right? You need to see the beauty. You need to see the vision. If you don't have vision for your own life, not just in the organization, but if you don't have a vision for your own life, then what are you doing? What are you out here doing? You should have a vision for your life. You should be able to see yourself thinking ahead. Right? What does that look like? What does 5 and 10, 20 years look like from right now in your life? Is it like this man where he thought that the only way to get to where he needed to go was to bury his face in the filth of the ground to look for the treasures? I just don't. But anyway, yeah, I think there's so much more in there. There's so much more in there, but we're just gonna move on. So this is good. This is good. Like I said, there's a lot of good stuff in here. I wish I had found this earlier when I had my son, bro. But anyway, I mean, we had Proverbs, right? Like you can't beat that. But listen to this. There are two directly opposite reasons why some men cannot get credit. One is because he is not known. I don't know you, so I can't offer you nothing because I don't know you. So I don't know if I'm gonna get back what I'm lending you. And then the other is because he is. So if you're not known, you ain't gonna get no credit. If you are known and your track record ain't great, you're not gonna get no credit. So where do you fall in this, right? Where do you fall? I mean, come on now. Like think about maybe, hopefully, I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna put this out here. So if you're on the side where you're the one that's always extending credit to people, right? You're extending credit to people. And then, you're extending credit to people and you know them, right? You know them. You know whether you're going to get it back or not. So what I would say, what I be telling Murdoch is, if you are not willing to depart with that, whether it be, I don't know, car, shoes, clothes, amount of money, if you're not willing to part with it and to never see it again, then I wouldn't be lending it. I wouldn't lend it. So, but if I'm okay, like, if I never see this again, it's not gonna affect me. It's not gonna be a detriment to me, to anybody, to my family. Then okay, right? It's good. So I think this just goes back into building your character. Also, when you think about from a business aspect, this is a reason why when like you go get a loan, right? It could be like a business loan or something like that. Excuse me, I'm thirsty, y'all. Okay, so you go get go get this loan, whatever. They want to know, right? What's your assets? What are you willing to put on the line for this? Because I don't know you. And so because I don't know you, meaning that you have no credit history, I don't know. I know you from from that leaf over there that's blowing on the ground. So and then if you do come and they know you because you got some history there, and they're like, yeah, no, we can't help you out because you don't pay us back. You don't pay us back on time. We gotta hunt you down. We gotta chase you down. So no, we can't give you credit. Right. So that's why it's important to learn how to build up that credibility. Build up that credibility. And that just takes, being truthful and being honest about your situation, being upfront with people. Like I was just talking to Murdoch about that when we was in the car. Like, if people would just have conversations and just be really clear about what it is, and if you're thinking or assuming, you're already off track, because I shouldn't have to assume. I should know. I should know. I should know how this is going to go. I should not be getting surprised at the end. You shouldn't be getting surprised at the end. You already know how it's going to go, right? Because you had a clear conversation. You asked questions. And don't get irritated. Don't be upset if people ask you questions. Like, they want to know. Answer them. It's okay to ask questions, right? It is. So I'm just, want to I'm going to put that out there. Like, that's really good. All right, I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to get up out of here. But that's what I'm saying. Like, this book is really, you see how thick the book was, right? Like, it's going to take me a minute, but we're going to get there, because just as I'm doing now, I like to sit and I like to think and I like to process and what's being said. And this is not like a normal storyline, but it is, like you want people to delve into this thought process of what's happening, what's going on. Okay, one more. We said one more, right? Okay, let's see. That was pretty interesting. There was one more in here. I don't know what happened to it. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, this is a good one, but there was another one in here. I can't find it right now because, again, I did not bookmark it. Shame on me. If I can't bookmark, right, I can tap it. Like, I can have like the little pull-out tabs, and I can use that, right? Okay, so here's one. It says, from drink with its ruins and sorrow and sin, I surely am safe if I never begin. Huh. So do you see people that, are not sober, and it causes ruin, and then it causes sorrow, and then the behavior causes some sin? And this person says, well, I'll be safe from it if I just never start. If I don't start drinking, then this probably wouldn't be my testament. Now, hey, I'm not telling you can't drink. That's not what I'm talking about. But I think it's talking about getting drunk, being drunk, not being sober-minded. Because when you are drunk, your behavior is not the same that it would be when, right, when you are sober minded. You say some things, you do some things, you're like, what? I don't know what I was thinking. You was drunk. You was drunk. So you know what I'm saying? I don't know why that person over there trying to shush me, right? I don't know why. But again, this is a really, really good read. Oh, here's one. Happy is or ought to be the man who owes nothing, right? So you should be in a place where you're just not, you're happy. You know, you're probably more sorrowful if you're constantly owing people all the time. And you can't keep up. Like you constantly have these credit cards, you constantly have some credit out there, you constantly are borrowing, you know, you're living paycheck to paycheck, like you're just in debt, right? So it brings about stress, it brings about sorrow. This is, you're happy if you don't owe nobody nothing, right? If you don't owe nobody nothing. So and then it goes on to say, who is this that's saying? But then it goes on to say, if you avoid paying debts, avoid incurring them. So it's like the person that likes to not open up their mail, not open up their email, not take that phone call when you know that it's the collection time, or just before it even gets to collections, that they're just saying, hey, this is your bill. You need to pay it. You're just saying, like, if you don't want to pay it, then don't make it. Don't make the bill. Again, being honest, building your character. I'm really drawn to this because I think it just really talks about a person's character and how you can build your character in doing so. It's life lessons. If you don't want to pay, then don't incur them. Don't make them. Right? That's just all that it's saying. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. So you going out there making bills, but you want other people to pay them. No, don't make them. It's just that simple. But anyway, hey, again, I don't know if you can go out here and get this. We'll try to find it, but I thought it was really, really good. Look at that. A good life keeps off wrinkles. Come on now. It's a good life. Live life. That's what I'm saying. Live life. But anyway, that is my book review. Remember in the beginning I said we're going to be doing book reviews because I like to read. And so, hey, every month I'm going to be reviewing something off the box or whatever. It might even be a children's book, right? Because I like children's books too because they speak. They speak. Everything speaks. So anyway, we're at the end. We're definitely over our time. Hey, until next time, I love you. You know, keep being curious. Keep being in a position of learning, right? Listen to sound wisdom, okay? Not those who have not been there, not those who, you know, that they're even struggling themselves, you know, young people. Your parents, they don't know. They don't know. I'm sorry, they just don't know. You could be their friends, but they just don't know, right? So, you know, just look. Leading is teachable. Leading is teachable. A leader is not born, but a leader is made. When you're in the Super Bowl, things get messy. And so, hey, that's all I can say. So, hey, I love you. There's nothing that you can do about it. Until next time, stay blessed. Peace.